Be sure to subscribe for more content.
What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the BigBC Finance Channel, and I hope you're having a very lovely day today. So in today's video, we're going to be talking all about Dogecoin, what has happened to it recently, and where we predict the price to go to in the near future with some key price levels and some trades I'm looking to make. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. And of course, if you appreciate the daily analysis on this channel and you're one of the 86% of people that watch my videos that have not yet subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. So without further ado, let's talk about Dogecoin. The annotations are back on the screen, and things on Dogecoin are looking pretty nice at the moment. I mean, when I look at the other top cryptocurrencies, they've all seen somewhat of a pump throughout the day, but Dogecoin here, looking at its technicals, is actually looking more bullish than most others. So that is really good to see from the get-go, particularly if you're bullish here. What we did see throughout yesterday was something like this play out. Now, if I put this in a different color so you guys can see that a little bit better, I'm going to put that in a nice yellow there. We had this kind of resistance that went over the price yesterday on Dogecoin, and what I believed we saw was some sort of inverse head and shoulders. So basically an inverse head and shoulders is just like a head and shoulders but upside down, and we have two shoulders which are two bottoms that are lower, two lesser bottoms and one large bottom. So the shoulders are the lesser bottoms and the head is the lowest bottom down here. And of course, we saw this play out and we saw the prices jet past this resistance here, which is called the neckline when we're looking at this pattern. And when we do see that, we do get a price target from this pattern. So that is just a test of the bottom of the head to the neckline there. We drag this to where the breakout was, and as you can see, the price target was a 7.6% trade to 8.1 cents on Dogecoin, and look where we got up to. We literally got up to 8.3 on Dogecoin. Absolutely amazing stuff. If you did trade that, congratulations. We can tell that this pattern played out pretty well because we see that increase in volume down there. We see a massive green candle take the prices above this head and shoulders, and therefore this pattern did play out to a T. Of course, I did hint at it yesterday as well. So if you do want more signals like this, I make daily videos here on my channel about Dogecoin. Be sure to subscribe if you want to follow those. And talking about Dogecoin, where we are right now, things are looking quite good because for several reasons. We're basically above this 100-hour moving average. So this is number one reason. This is a very well-respected moving average across not just Dogecoin, but pretty much all altcoins that I cover on this channel. Literally, this line determines where the trend is. If we are above this 100-hour moving average, then we could be following some sort of bullish trend. If we're below it, we're following some sort of bearish trend. And on top of that as well, the price tends to find it as support and resistance. So, you know, it's not perfect, but in a lot of occasions, the price comes up to test this 100-hour moving average. And oftentimes it will get rejected as a resistance if we're in a bearish trend, or it'll be used as a support, like here, for example, if we're in a more bullish trend. And what we have seen very recently is that obviously we were in this bearish trend in Dogecoin. The prices did jet up past this head and shoulders, but we saw our first rejection at this 100-hour moving average. We did come back down as we tested it. We came back up a second time, got rejected, and over the course of 2 hours, so this is a 2-hour chart, so two candles there where it was red. The third candle was a very large green one. We saw an increase in volume, and this is what we're looking for. Every time we do see this moving average flipped, we see a large increase in volume and large momentum, and that's exactly what we saw. We saw Dogecoin plow through this moving average into the bullish side. We got up to 8.3 cents before we found this line here in purple as our resistance, and we've come back down, come to test this moving average as a support, and now the prices are resting above it. So bullish stuff. So this is a great sign here from Dogecoin that we're following a more bullish trend, or we're starting to anyway. Additionally to that as well, you can see that this purple line that we have here is our resistance from this triangle formation. So over the course of 2 weeks, Dogecoin, if you remember, has been following some sort of consolidation pattern that looks like this, a triangle bound by the yellow support here and the purple resistance, and we did break out to the downside, and that resistance from that triangle there is now our resistance once again. So that's very interesting to see, and what I think we could be seeing now is some sort of cup and handle pattern. Now this is a pattern that doesn't occur too often in my opinion, but what I'm seeing right now does kind of look like it. What we do see is we see this cup here and we see some sort of handle. So the handle kind of drives the prices in the downwards direction temporarily, but then once this pattern completes, we should see a breakthrough, and in this case I want to see a breakthrough through this resistance here, and then the bullish And then the price target then just becomes the low of the cup down there to where the resistance is up here, joining the two sides of the cup. And we should see a price target on Dogecoin, if we do break through this resistance, in my opinion, of 9.4 cents. So pretty exciting stuff if this cup and handle pattern plays out. Of course, like I say, we need the prices to go down a little bit. This is the handle of the cup, by the way, so prices could do this, for example. And what we want to see at some point is, again, the volume goes up. We want to see an increase in volume. We want to see large green candles like we saw here, for example, as we did with the 100-hour moving average, like we did over here with the head and shoulders pattern. And if we see again a green candle in this region, then I will be opening that trade for the cup and handles pattern. And I'm pretty excited to do that because we don't often see this. So to see a cup and handles pattern potentially forming here on Dogecoin is pretty exciting for me. So that's another thing I've been looking at. However, if we just go back in time again and we just have a look at this triangle over here, and let's just talk about this for a bit as well, because at the moment we've seen that breakout to the downside from this triangle, and this is still something that's on my mind here on Dogecoin, because of course it was a respected chart pattern. We saw a breakdown from this triangle to the downside. So if this continues to be respected, we want to see that price target of around 6.7, 6.8 cents. And at the moment, we've not quite hit it. We got down to 7 cents, but I'm still mindful that something like that could be hit in the future. Of course, with these price targets, they don't have to happen instantaneously. They could happen over the course of days and weeks. So if we're going to see this price target be hit, the only way we won't see that is if we see this cup and handles pattern help us break through this resistance line here. Basically, this purple resistance is instrumental. If we break through this resistance line, then this triangle here is invalidated, and I will no longer be looking for that 6.9 cents. But until we're able to break through this resistance, then to me this is just some sort of retest potentially of this triangle, and what we could see at the prices eventually get down to our price target of 6.9 cents here on Dogecoin. So on the really short term, I'm really looking for something to happen with the price and this purple resistance that we have here, and whether the prices can break through it. So we break through this resistance, purple resistance, and we also respect this 100-hour moving average. But if we don't do that soon, then the chances are we're going to slip below this 100-hour moving average once again on Dogecoin, and we're going to see our price target at 6.9 cents as this cup and handle pattern becomes invalidated. So that's what I'm really looking for on the short term here. Of course, on top of that as well, I'm looking at what the whole cryptocurrency is doing at the moment. I'm looking at what the whole cryptocurrency market is doing at the moment, which will be our guide as to whether we're going to see a bullish or bearish bias here on Dogecoin. And to do that, we're just going to have a look at what Bitcoin is doing at the moment. And at the moment, things are actually looking quite reasonable on Bitcoin. So we've had that breakout from the triangle to the downside, as we saw on Dogecoin. So Bitcoin and Dogecoin had a very similar consolidation in this region here. Prices broke down on Bitcoin, but we've actually shot up. And what has happened on Bitcoin is we've gone so bullish from around 15,400 at its very low here to 16,700. We've been so bullish that we've actually invalidated this triangle here. So just recently, this triangle is no longer in play because we've come above the resistance and the support of that triangle. So, the way triangles are invalidated is if the prices reverse, its prices recross the resistance and support. So of course, we saw a breakout to the downside, and the price target of that was supposed to be around $13,500. But since we've broken below this support here, we don't want to see the prices crossing back above it. But that's exactly what we saw, and that invalidates the fact that we're going to see 13,500 just by this triangle on Bitcoin. And at the moment, it looks like we've got a very similar setup here on Bitcoin as to Dogecoin as well. We've crossed the 100-hour moving average. Again, very instrumental in the direction of the trend here on Bitcoin. We've crossed it to the bullish side, and we're actually remaining above this 100-hour moving average. We're literally above it at the moment. We're going in a bullish direction on Bitcoin. And, for all intents and purposes, this is actually the start of some shorter-term bullish trend here on Dogecoin, in my opinion. On Bitcoin, in my opinion. And the fact that we're seeing that on Bitcoin should add a bullish bias onto what Dogecoin does as well. Of course, if Bitcoin were to break below these trend lines in yellow and this 100-hour moving average, then I do think 6.9 cents will be very, very likely. So whatever Bitcoin does in the very near future, over the next few hours, will probably dictate what will happen to Dogecoin. And of course, Bitcoin is going to be influenced with macroeconomic conditions. And today we have the FOMC minutes from the Fed. So of course, if they're going to be very hawkish in that meeting, then I do think Bitcoin is going to go back down. If things paint an improving picture and everyone leaves very satisfied, then we're going to see the markets pump and we're going to see Bitcoin go up as well. And of course, if Bitcoin goes up, Dogecoin goes up. So we're going to be watching those FOMC minutes that are happening at 7 p.m. UTC. So that is happening in around 2.5 hours from making this video. That's going to have a massive impact as to what Dogecoin does. It's going to have a massive input into what Bitcoin does and just to markets in general. So at the moment, things are looking green, things are looking bullish. You can see on the side here, most cryptocurrencies are up from yesterday. BNB leading everything at nearly 11%. But basically, I do think this is a small rally up until those FOMC minutes, and I do think we could see some sort of reversal here soon on Dogecoin as well if that meeting turns out to be very hawkish, which I don't want to jinx it, guys, but I do think Jerome Powell has a particular bias when it comes to talking about the economy. So I'll leave it at that. I don't want to say my prediction for that because I do want to be bullish on Dogecoin, but at the same time, I am anticipating the fact that we're going to hear some very hawkish comments in that meeting and we could see prices continue to tumble. So that's happening in 2.5 hours, but until then, we can see prices continue to rise. If we can see Dogecoin break through this purple trend line, that's very, very good. But if not, and we cross below the 100-hour moving average on Dogecoin again, then we're going to hit 6.9 cents in my opinion. So that's kind of my short-term prediction here in Dogecoin, and that's all I have to say in this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, then be sure to smash the like button and hit the subscribe if you haven't done so already. But otherwise, I'll see you in my next video.